Welcome back to the 128 Gaming Podcast. We are back once again.
Due to lack of popular demand.
Yes, and that demand is so lacking. We're here every week to discuss all things gaming.
Yes, we are indeed.
And it is, drum roll please. I think you don't actually, but yeah, it's good,
Yeah, that's it.
graphics card season.
Yay!
Silly season is upon us.
Yeah.
And if you want to buy the new 50 series graphics cards,
Get a job. Become the CEO. Sell your children.
have you got 2 kidneys? You only need 1.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yes, it's madness out there if you can find them.
Oh, my days.
Which is always a problem every time.
Yes.
Do you think that they purposefully withhold stock to make it hard to get them?
Probably, yeah.
Because it seems like every time it's like the hardest thing to do is get graphics cards.
Yes.
Oh, I just released it. You can't get them.
Yes. And if you can get them, they're always well over MSRP or whatever it is.
Right, so let's talk about MSRP on the NVIDIA 50 series cards.
Oh, my days.
Because the 5070 is, what, 7?
The 5070 Ti was NVIDIA said it's going to be 750. But can we just bear in mind for a second, NVIDIA always release like reference cards.
Yes.
So you can buy them from NVIDIA with the stock cooler on and all that kind of stuff. And they've done this forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they did it with the 5090. So you can buy it from NVIDIA. They did it with the 5080. You can buy it from NVIDIA. The 5070 Ti, they've gone, no, we're not doing that.
Oh, really?
You can't buy it from them. They're not doing stock cards. So you have to buy it from a third party. The only way to get a 5070 Ti is to buy one from a separate company.
It's like the MSI.
The MSI one.
ASUS
And they always go, it's overclocked.
Yeah.
And they bump the clocks by like 1, and where there's no performance gain, none. And then they go, that means we can charge £300 more.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like, what? Like, why with the 5070 Ti have NVIDIA done that? Then they publicly announced we're leaving this to our, like, I don't know what they called it, not shareholders, like partners and whatever else they called it. I was like, what? So we knew that £750 or dollar, price tag, you ain't going to see that.
And we're really not seeing it either.
No.
Like, nowhere near. Well, firstly, you can't get them.
No.
They're just nowhere.
There's some available. Well, currently there's some, but they're insane prices.
Yeah.
They're insane prices.
They're talking over the £1,000 mark.
Yeah. It's just ridiculous.
I knew it was going to be bad.
Yeah.
It's bad every time.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I had foolish expectations that it wouldn't be this bad this time. It's still bad.
It's bad because I was really tempted. So to break the illusion of when we film these videos, the 5070 Ti only launched 2 days yesterday. So for everyone watching, if you're watching this as it goes out, it's been like a week.
Yeah.
Week and a half, whatever. But anyway, so it was coming out and I was like, I'm going to have a look because I want to see how bad this is, and I want to see if I can get one.
I got the job. Yeah. I'm going to be the CEO.
Yeah, that's it. I've sold my kids. Yeah. They weren't even mine. I just found some children and sold them.
Sold someone else's kids.
Yeah, that's it. But I was like, no, I'm going to just have a look, see what's a go on there. And so I was sat there, 2 p.m. UK, they dropped. So I was like, sweet, I've got every website open that I know sells graphics cards.
You're like a stock trader.
Yeah, I was. I'm not even joking. I had like 5-6 windows open, refresh on all of them. One website was just continuously loading, so it was just broken.
Yeah.
The other websites had them. One website had them all listed at $9,000 because it was just like a placeholder price. I was like, wow, that's good value there. The other ones were all out of stock. But then 2 o'clock hit, nothing. Like on any website, it was probably about 2:15 when sites started uploading, like updating, and I refreshed it. Bearing in mind, straight away from the get-go, a few of these websites, £1,000. Straight up £1,000, even for the MSI one, which are always the cheapest ones. Well, off the clock, the whatever they're called, I can't remember off the top of my head, but the MSI whatever, Ventus is it? I think it is. And anyway, they were like £1,000 on some places. I said, that shouldn't be that price. I looked at other sites and one website had them for $760. I was like, it's like £10 over.
That's all right.
I was like, that's good. Okay. One place had them for $799. I was like, it's only 50 over MSRP. It's not too bad. Then one place had them at $729. I was like, that's under retail. I was like, sweet.
Okay.
And then that same place had an Asus one, and Asus always got, you pay Asus tax on everything.
Yeah.
They're always more expensive. So that card was $1,050 on these other places. This place had them at $740. I was like, I'm buying that one. And it said in stock, showed the price, clicked on it. 20,000 people are buying this right now.
Oh, the little
pop-up.
Like,
yeah, the pop-up. I was like, they're not, because it says in stock, but there's no purchase button. I was like, yeah, great. So it said, you can get finance here and get it this and that, but there was nowhere to buy it, nowhere to add it to cart. I was like, what? I was going to bring up the chat box to someone, being like, hello, can you help me, please? And I thought, they're not going to reply because everyone's going to be here doing this like me. Refreshed, still in stock, but couldn't get it. Go to another website. Everyone else's, all the cards weren't listed. It was just like 2 in stock. So they had, let's say, 15 to 17 different 5070 Ti's. Let's say 14 of them were all just grayed out. No. And then a couple of them would be there.
Yeah.
But they were either insane prices, or they were just straight up no, and the one place that had them at $799 kept saying in stock, and that was there to buy. Could have just gone on and bought it, right? But the place where I wanted to get them cheap, I was like, I'm not paying over RRP. I'm not paying over. So I was looking, and this place, I wanted the Asus one, had the price $740 or whatever it was, but no way of purchasing it. Gave it about 10 minutes, refreshed. In-stock bit had gone. Price was still there. Refreshed. In-stock came back. Refreshed. Price had gone. In-stock had gone. It was just grayed out again. So they either just completely lied, or they had some and only maybe they had one. And the one person actually managed to buy it.
I understand the excitement of new things. I am a sucker for new shiny things. And I understand the hype and excitement that comes with new tech, and people do want to jump in. But if you were to be objective about it, why is everyone rushing out?
There's no need.
There's zero need for it yet.
Especially when you look at the reviews of the 5070 Ti.
Yeah, the base performance jump that you're getting is very minor.
Marginal increase across the previous gen.
Yeah.
So if you look at the 47, NVIDIA really screwed it up with the naming system. They used to be really easy to figure out. It's easy for me because I understand it. I still get it more than AMD. I don't understand their naming scheme.
I don't understand
at
AMD's.
All. No.
Although AMD have
changed it. Changed it to reflect NVIDIA.
Yeah.
But so I've never understood AMD's. NVIDIA's always been very easy, but now they've confused it. So in the 40 series, let's just look at the 70s.
Yeah.
You've got the 4070, which is the base. You've got the 4070 Ti, right, which I think has gone. Then you had the 4070 Super. Then you got the 4070 Super Ti, or Ti Super.
Yeah.
So it's what? What's going on here?
Why is there so many increments inside that series?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So the best 4070 is the Ti Super.
Yeah.
Because it's the Ti and Super, whatever. So when you look at it compared, even though that's not actually a comparable, because that's the Ti Super, not just the straight Ti, it's only something like 9% faster for the 5070 Ti. So it's really not that big when you're not looking at adding all these fake frames.
Yes, and that's the only reason to jump into the 50 series right now is the DLSS4 multi-frame gen.
And the fact that it's got more RT cores. Yeah. So you can actually put all the ray tracing on.
Yeah, ray reconstruction as well. Yeah. All of the AI features that are going to be built in. I want to experience it because in my head I'm kind of writing off, and I know we've done a whole episode on frame gen sucks and all that, and I've been dismissive of it.
Yeah.
But I do want to experience what this 4x frame rate is like. I suspect it's going to be as I imagine it. It's going to feel like 60 FPS.
Just like we discussed in the Frame Gen Sucks podcast or show, whatever. It still holds true. You need to have a stable base rate first. And the higher the frame rate, the lower your input latency is. So you need to have it over 60 already before that makes any sense. So unless you've got like a 480 hertz monitor, it's totally pointless.
Pointless.
Because if you're running the game at 10 FPS and then you 4x it, it's not going to be playable. Yeah. The input latency is going to be ridiculously high, and it's just going to be pants. You know,
it'll still feel like 10 FPS. It just look like 40.
Yeah. So it's like, nah.
So why I objectively don't think people should be rushing out and getting
People shouldn't be rushing out,
especially not over RRP.
For me, I've got a 4070, so the base level, and when you look just at that, at the benchmarks, if you take anyone's benchmarks that they've done online and you spy them testing the 4070 to the 5070 Ti, there is a major jump there. You're looking at games running, let's say 50 FPS on the 4070. You're looking at like well over the 100 native on the 5070 Ti. So for me,
that's a big leap.
It's a big leap. It's like double the performance basically, without going into the price territory of a 5080, which is like £1,500, you know, which is just insane. So that's why I was saying at like 700 quid, I'm like, I could sell my 4070 for like 400.
Yeah.
I've only spent a couple of $100 really, you know, so it's not that
we're
bad.
seeing 5070s hit eBay at like 1,400 quid.
Oh, the
5070s.
Yeah, the TIs, yes. Yeah, they're expensive, because they are releasing a 5070 as well.
Right.
So the non-TI.
Yeah, okay.
So the TI is just a 5080 that's like underclocked.
Yeah.
So it's weird, you know, that they're releasing that, because normally it would go 5070, 5080, 5090.
Yeah.
But they've just slammed in the 5070 Ti as well. But the 5070 is not coming out until March. So we're still not even seen that yet.
Oh, wow.
And that's got an MSRP of 550. So it's cheap again. So that will be a big jump up from my 4070, but not enough for me to warrant actually upgrading it, you know, especially because I don't use frame gen. I don't like frame gen. So I'm going off raw performance here in DLSS. Yeah. And I would benefit from the extra ray traced cores and the just raw performance.
So we're an interesting junction especially for the Ally X community, which we cover a lot, and just PC handheld and laptop gaming as well. With external GPUs becoming more of a thing, becoming more relevant again, when they kind of disappeared for a little bit.
Disappeared for a long bit, really.
And then PC handhelds have come along, and now it's become actually relevant again to wanting a kind of hybrid Switch-like experience for the performance of a PC.
Yes.
Now, you went for a whole deep dive, as then subscribers will know, on building your own external graphics card set up for your Ally X. Yes. So I wanted to put to you now.
Was it worth it? Well, let me... before we go on, by the way, I just want to say big thanks to our super awesome video sponsor. Way!
You remembered to do a segue.
I did, yes.
Well done, Andy. I completely forgot that we're supposed to introduce them really early. We're 14 minutes in.
Are we?
Sorry.
Have it now. Because I've just remembered.
Yeah, you've got it now. It's good. Today's super awesome video sponsor is PlayVital. If you're tired of your Switch looking like it's been through the wars, or maybe your controller is slipping and sliding like a sweaty mess, then PlayVital's got you covered. They've got all the gear to keep your handheld consoles and controllers looking fresh and playing their best. From protective cases that can survive my rage quits, to grips that give you that extra style and save your controller from Andy's Dorito fingers. For more information, check out these awesome cases and more on the link below. So thanks for putting up with our adverts, and thanks for supporting us. It does help us do these videos. Anyway, yes, interesting junction in kind of handheld gaming. We've got obviously the new generation of graphics are coming, and there'll be the laptop variants of that soon, I imagine.
Yeah.
And also coming at the end of March, we've been informed by ASUS, is the XG Mobile, their Thunderbolt 5 external graphics card, kind of all-in-one setup.
The revamp of the XG Mobile.
Yeah, which will have the 50 series card, have a 5070 or a 5090 version.
5070 Ti and the 5090.
I'll get it right one day.
I'm only corrected because there will be two.
Yeah, no, and it will get picked up on. Yes. It's good. So there's two variants of that. So I kind of wanted to discuss really the fors and against both, kind of weighing them up. Should you build your own external graphics card setup now with a desktop graphics card, or should you go down the XG Mobile route, and what's better for who?
Yes. Yeah, I totally get you. Before we hit on that, I was just thinking, because obviously I've built one myself, right? And I know there'll be people out there going, was it really worth it? Because it's been months now. isn't it?
Yeah.
How many months? I don't know. It was last year. It's probably like 4 months ago. Maybe.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Maybe 5 months ago. I don't know. And I have to say, it's been totally worth it.
Really?
Yeah, USB 4 is what I've got. So I'm using a USB 4 controller, and I've got a 4070 in there, and I pretty much exclusively play on my TV using the Ally X with my 4070 eGPU.
Yeah.
It's perfect. I love it. There's not little niggles that I would go, actually don't do this now. Do you know what I mean? Like, I genuinely really enjoy it.
Yeah.
And the performance is great, even though there's a bit of a loss there from the card.
But everything's working.
Everything works. Like, we've been playing through Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I keep bringing it up because that's what I'm playing.
I'm like proud dad. It's such a beautiful moment.
But playing that, injecting DLSS 4 into it,
Yeah.
but playing that 4K 60, it's wicked. All maxed out. Just
And it's a demanding game as well.
Yeah, it's really good.
You can't run it on PS5, so.
But I'm having a really good time.
Yeah.
You know, I really am having a great time of being able to hook it up to my telly and have the same device instead of having a separate PC, you know, which you would get better performance out of.
Of course.
But just having a one and done device,
Yeah.
the Nintendo Switch 3, you know, it's wicked. So yeah, carry on.
Well, it's a really important point because you're saying it's worth it and all the rest of it. So the first part I want us to kind of weigh up is like the value of the of the external graphics card setup like you've built versus the kind of ease of the XG Mobile and like the kind of comparisons there. I guess price wise is the first point to pick at.
Yeah, it is.
And there's an interesting caveat to this now as well, is that Aoostar have the AG02, is it?
Yeah. So when I was building my one, it was the AG01 from Aoostar, and that had just come out of nowhere. They'd just gone like, hello, like, and at the time then it was kind of limited. So it was just a USB 4 or Oculink, but that doesn't work with the Ally, so let's not talk about that. So it was just USB 4, but it had like a peak 300 watt like output on the PSU. So it was very limiting, and also no one had one. Yeah, they wouldn't send us one.
No,
like they wouldn't even reply to us. So I couldn't recommend that. I've been seeing a lot of people loving it in Reddit, and they've updated it now with that AG02.
Yeah, it's an 800 watt power supply built in.
Yeah,
650 for the graphics card redundancy and 150 just redundancy, which means it can reverse charge.
Yeah, so you one cable.
Yeah, one cable, and you can have 100 watt charging out.
Yes. So my setup, I've got 2 cables, one for the eGPU, and then I need a separate.
That alone makes it even more convenient offering.
Absolutely, because it's a one and done.
One and done.
You don't need to do what I've done, where I've literally built like a micro ATX case, and I've built my eGPU in with a full size ATX power supply. I got cables going everywhere.
A Thunderbolt 4 Thunderbolt 3 controller, is it?
Thunderbolt. No, USB 4 controller is what I'm using. So
I'm so sorry.
No, but what I've done, if I showed to little Billy, you know, average,
it's terrifying.
They'll be like, "What?"
Yeah.
Whereas going onto that Aoostar, you can just click it; it will arrive. You plug a graphics card in, and you're done.
You're done.
You don't need to do anything.
One cable, power your Ally X through it. Like it's a very compelling offering. 800 watts, 654. So 650 for the GPU, which means it could technically run a 5090.
Yeah, because that peaks out at 600 watts, I think. So it could absolutely run that.
That's insanity.
Yeah.
So the AG02 comes in at $250, so about £200.
£200 here in the UK, yeah.
If you're not... The one thing I will say, when we're talking about the ease of it and the comfort of it as a setup, it does offer that one cable solution, which is beautiful, which we're always looking for.
Yeah.
It doesn't offer the kind of aesthetically pleasing thing of a graphics card housed in a case.
Enclosure,
The enclosure is, I will say, it's an important thing.
It is. However, this is like an in-between.
Yeah.
Because instead of having what we've dubbed the dead RoboCop, where you've got a power supply, all the cables trailing out to a USB controller, do you know what I mean? And then you've got cables everywhere. This is all self-contained. So
very true.
So the power supply is built into the shroud, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
So all you've got is a little it basically looks like a Mac Mini.
Yeah.
With a graphics card stuck on the top of it. That's basically all you're seeing, unlike the dead RoboCop. So it's like, it's kind of half RoboCop, right? but it's still not like the beautiful Razer cores, where there's lovely aluminium,
I'm waiting for that to come back.
Yeah, me too.
The updated Razer core.
Oh, yeah.
There's no word if they're going to do it.
No, they won't. But I'd love it if they did.
It was such a cool thing, and it's a shame that yours didn't work out, but
Yeah.
they are old now as well.
They're very old, yeah.
Yes, so it does offer like a halfway house. You're right,
But it's still an exposed graphics card.
Still an exposed graphics card, and I think for like little Billy, let's be honest, little Billy's not going to be doing this.
No,
let's be
he's
honest.
not. No.
But I think for a lot of people, having a
Big
graphics
Billy.
card out in their lounge, let's say, on
Yes.
next to TV, is probably a no-no, unless you're super into gaming.
Yeah, or if you've got a really nice setup, you might have like a real nice home theater system. Like I'm talking about like
maybe you've got like a cabinet you can
that's
put
what
it
I mean,
in, like a glass
cabinet,
case or something.
Yeah, something that's not so exposed,
Yes.
or like one of those wooden doors and it's
Yeah.
just there and you don't see it, and it's less at risk of being knocked over by your kid or your dog or whatever. Then it's cool, but you wouldn't want it just sat on the side
Under your TV,
No.
your graphics card.
on a
there.
desk. Yeah, I could
Yes.
imagine that.
Yeah.
But like I use my eGPU into my TV.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't want that. Just
Which is where,
there.
I'll be honest, where I think this is prime for in this
Yeah.
new generation of like hybrid handheld gaming. I think it's trying to recreate what the Switch was doing,
Yeah.
but with the performance of
PC.
and the versatility of PC.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's where, when you're talking about the ease part of it, the XG Mobile absolutely excels.
Oh yeah,
The 2025 XG Mobile absolutely excels. You've got a unit that's the size of like a paperback book
yeah,
that weighs about a kilo,
yeah.
that's fully enclosed, that you could stick under your TV and just be there, and no one would ask any questions because it just looks like an old external hard drive used to be. It's that kind of size and footprint.
Yeah. It's
Very
fully
neat.
enclosed.
And it's stylized as well.
Stylized. It's
Which
got a
is
bit of
a thing.
RGB. Yeah, it is. Yeah,
Like, and we know RGB makes
Yeah.
everything faster.
It does. Yeah, that's 10% gains right there. But it is enclosed. It's got its own fan cooling system.
Yeah, really impressive cooling system as
Thunderbolt 5 built in. It's got really good I/O.
Yeah.
So there's like loads of connections. I think it's got like a gigabit Ethernet, or if not more.
Yeah.
And it's really cool. Like as a thing, you could chuck it in your backpack.
well. That's part of the ease, isn't it? Before the travel,
Yeah,
I want to
yeah.
say the breakout box part of it is
Okay, yeah.
the
Yeah.
I/O that it gives you is
Yes.
really significant.
Yes, considering that the Aoostar does not.
Does not.
That
no.
it doesn't do anything other than charge your
Yeah.
ally. So you would still need another dock
Yeah.
to plug into your second USB port, so that then you've got USBs or Ethernet or anything like
Yeah.
that. The Aoostar is literally just taking your graphics card, data, or pulling the data out of your Ally X, if you want to look at it that way.
So that kind of ease of I/O, the fact that it's a slimline thing, travel. Yeah, I will say that's the thing. It's not going to be for everyone, but
No.
also it's worth noting that we are talking about PC handhelds with this. So it is for people that are moving around.
Yeah.
And if you're the kind of person, I don't know, you're going on holiday, or maybe you travel for work or whatever, and you're taking this with you, let's say you're staying at a Airbnb or a hotel or whatever, you could put the XG Mobile in your bag
Totally.
with your Alex and then hook up to the TV there and have your continued
And
experience.
if you've done the job thing and you're now the CEO,
You're now the CEO, you can afford it.
You can afford it, but you could rent out a cinema, and maybe you've just got that in your back pocket. You could just plug it in.
The local cinema here actually allows you to rent out screens to play games in.
That's what I'm on about. So if you had an
actually do that.
XG Mobile,
Yeah.
you could plug that in.
I wanted to do it and do like a special episode from there.
We should do that. If ASUS give us the 5090 XG Mobile to test, we should genuinely do that.
Oh, I'm going to put that to their press team and say, this is our idea.
Yes.
Will you make it happen?
Providing that it gets lost in one of our houses.
We may lose. We need two of them. Why do you
Yes.
need two?
With one's getting lost.
Both screens.
Yeah. Dual screen.
I love that idea. That's so cool.
That would be cool.
Yeah, we've got to make that happen.
Yes.
The travel with it is the thing.
So that is a
genuine thing.
A genuine thing, because
You can't
it's-
do that with
you
the
can't-
Aoostar.
No.
You got a 5070 Ti just in your
Yeah.
bag.
You'd need a flight case, like a big case.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Which people do. You know,
And even then, you carry around an unwrapped graphics card.
Yeah, no. So that is a point to make, is that the XG Mobile is actually
And the footprint's
portable.
a lot smaller.
Tiny.
We'll get onto the desktop versus
Yeah,
laptop
yeah.
graphics card thing, but It is tiny compared to having even like a 5070 Ti slammed under your TV. It's a big thing, as you know, with the 4070. It's,
well, if
5070 is bigger again.
I was going to say, if I got the 5070 Ti, it wouldn't even fit in my eGPU enclosure. I'd have to take it apart and change how I've done it.
That's impressive.
Yeah, because they're all triple fan.
I was going to say it's a 3-fan.
Yeah, I need a dual slot, like a 2-fan one. They don't do that yet.
Okay, so then the ease is there. The ease in this conversation is 100% with the XG Mobile.
Oh, yeah.
It
we
wins
just
there.
plug it in and it's done.
Value is the other part.
Totally different.
There's an entirely different conversation. So value, we need to acknowledge the cost of the XG Mobile, first of all. And obviously there's two variants, isn't there?
2 variants.
5070 Ti and 5090. Is it $1,400 for the 70 Ti?
What we saw on the website...
It's not confirmed yet.
Yeah, but what we saw a while back, and a bunch of our members were putting it in our Discord as well, seeing the same thing. On the ASUS UK website, they had prices listed. They've now gone.
Yeah.
So the prices have disappeared from the website listing. So we're going on what we saw like 4 weeks ago, maybe more.
Yeah, when it was first kind of announced.
Yeah, it was within the couple of weeks of when it was announced, but all those prices have disappeared. Whether or not that means they're changing them, I don't know, but let's hope that it makes it cheaper. But
I'm not holding my breath there.
What we saw was $1,400 for the 5070 Ti and $2,600 for the 5090 Ti. 5090, sorry, not Ti.
Well, there's been a recent leak, and it prices in US dollars. And we all know there's always a discrepancy between US dollars and where we are, pounds.
Yeah, we pay more.
We pay more, yeah. And in US dollars, it was $1,200 and $2,100.
Yeah. So we're really getting shafted.
We're really,
if that's the case.
Because $1,200 is just under £1,000.
Yeah.
So we're paying like 50%, 40% more.
Yeah. Yes.
That feels rough.
Yes.
The other thing about the pricing disappearing is ASUS is a Taiwanese company, and so it's manufactured in between Taiwan and China, I would imagine. And obviously, there's a big problem with like borders and tariffs now,
in
and
the US,
and that's going to affect pricing. And Nintendo were talking about it as well, weren't they? That it's going to have an impact on their pricing. And I think it's going to be a problem for all of us because so much of computing is made in China and Taiwan. And
I just hope that doesn't reflect here.
There's a lot of companies, I know in other stuff that we work in, there's a lot of companies that are upping their pricing worldwide.
Yeah, see, that's what I was worried about.
To reflect the problems at borders. Yeah. So we'll probably get screwed with it, which is why I imagine the pricing disappeared. We could be lucky and it could be going down.
Yes.
That doesn't tend to happen ever.
I know what they should do. I'm sorry, Americans, but my idea is right. Okay?
Yeah.
They should drop our prices and increase theirs.
So, that makes sense.
There we go. So, for the past like 50 years or whatever, we've always been shafted.
Yes.
Let's flip it over for 50 years.
Yeah, it seems fair. Yeah.
Seems good. We'll pay like 400. They could pay $5,000.
So, yeah.
I'm joking.
So you were saying 1,600 was what you saw
1,600 UK.
The 70 Ti.
Yes.
5070 Ti.
Yeah.
Laptop GPU.
Laptop GPU. That's the big thing there,
Yeah, we're going to talk about the difference in performance in a bit. But a laptop GPU, we're just going to talk about the base build because I don't think anyone realistically who watches this is going to be going for the 5090.
No, that's the wrong choice.
You sold kidneys to be getting there.
Yeah. I mean, if you can afford it, if you've done the job and the CEO,
become a member.
Yeah.
All right,
and give us some.
Give us some of the money.
Yeah. No, just some 5090.
Yeah, 5090s. Just buy us too.
Yeah. But yeah, so if you've got the money and you literally have that much spare cash, get the 5090.
Yeah.
But for most people, the 5070 Ti is the more sensible choice. Yeah.
So we'll just count that in this kind of comparison.
So 1,400 for the XG Mobile 5070 Ti.
Yeah. And for the desktop GPU version, we're looking at what's the MSRP was
750 plus 200 for the Aoostar. You're looking at 950.
Yeah.
So you're looking at £450 cheaper. We're not counting these £1,000 scalped prices.
No. Because the XG Mobile isn't going for release. ASUS told us the end of March. So let's say April. By April, we're probably going to see a little bit of a calming down of the prices on the desktop GPUs.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah.
Supply will definitely be more readily available in a couple of months as well. So you're talking about like 950 versus 1400, maybe 1600. Some prices, like the difference there is huge. So you're getting less or significant less in performance for at least £500 more.
Yeah,
that's difficult. The other advantage with the desktop GPU version, apart from performance, which we'll touch on, is the versatility there.
Yeah,
like when the 50 series gets old, the next generation comes out, you can whip that out, sell it, replace it.
Absolutely. You can swap the card out.
It's just a PCI connection.
Yeah. Providing you've got the Aoostar, or if you've built your own eGPU set like me, you can just take the card out and stick in the 6090
or maybe you
whatever.
decide that you don't need the 5070 Ti and you just want to get the 4070. Like you've got, you can do that. Or you change your mind in the future and go, actually, no game's really utilizing this. I can sell it, get some money back, and buy a 40 series.
Or even if you've built it yourself like me and you've got an ATX power supply and you've got, let's say, a 5070 Ti or whatever graphics card, you go, you know what? I want to build a PC out of this. You've got half the components already.
Yeah, you've got the expensive parts.
Yes.
Like
yeah. You just need a motherboard and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's way more versatile to go eGPU.
It's hard to argue against that in general.
Obviously, if you get the Aoostar, let's just focus it on that because I feel like it's a bit more fair. Obviously, you can't turn that into a PC. That is just an eGPU.
No, but you've got the graphics card.
You've got the graphics card part, and that's forever going to be swappable. There's a big difference though. Aoostar is USB 4. The XG Mobile is Thunderbolt 5.
Really good point.
And that's going to be big performance differences.
Really
Screw the laptop versus GPU, like desktop. We're not talking that. The Aoostar, you're not going to be able to change that. You know, with mine, I will be able to change it to a Thunderbolt 5. When a controller comes, I can swap my controller out.
Yeah.
I'm using the UT3G. I can swap that out. But with the Aoostar, you can't. So you've made that choice now. You're locked in at USB 4, 40 gigabit. The Thunderbolt 5 is going to be like 80 up to 120 gigabits, I think. So there is going to be a big performance drop between USB 4 and that Thunderbolt 5 there. Once we get a device that can utilize it.
It's weird that there's not more Thunderbolt 5 devices out yet.
No, it's still real fresh though, isn't it?
Well,
it's still like real fresh.
It's not that fresh.
Well, I suppose. But I mean, we've only really just seen in the past few months even Thunderbolt 5 like docks.
Yeah.
Not even eGPUs, just like, you know, stuff with I/O in it.
Yep.
That's stuff for like Macs and stuff. So to me, it's fresh, even if the tech's been around for a little bit.
I'm just surprised we haven't seen more jumping in. But I know Apple are always quick on the Thunderbolt stuff.
Yeah. So with the XG Mobile, comparing that to the Aoostar right now, the XG Mobile will default to USB 4 level.
Yeah.
Because the Ally X only has a USB 4, and so does every other handheld right now. But you've got that bit of future proof there that when the Ally 2 comes out with the Thunderbolt 5, you can then unlock more performance from it with the XG Mobile. Whereas if you've got the Aoostar, you don't.
Or even if you decide to go laptop route in the future, you can use the XG Mobile.
Yeah,
the Thunderbolt 5 on your laptop.
Yeah.
You could do that. That's a difficult one for Aoostar, and I kind of question why they've done that because it's only just come out, isn't it?
Yeah, recent. Yeah,
they could have gone Thunderbolt 5 on it.
Yeah, but maybe it's price, and because nothing's really utilizing Thunderbolt 5 yet, then what's the point?
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, they'll just release the AG03, and that will be Thunderbolt 5, and it'll probably be $300.
If you were to make a judgment call on value, I think I know which way you would lean anyway, to be honest, even with that in mind.
Yeah.
I think you'd go eGPU.
Absolutely, because you're looking at £200 or $250 just for the AG02 dock.
Yeah.
Let's say you spent £700 or £1,000 on a graphics card, still cheaper to just remove the dock and buy a new one of those than it is to be stuck forever with an XG Mobile 5070 Ti that you can't ever change.
Yeah.
You know, so it's difficult on that front.
And I guess that kind of answers my next question, which was going to be, what's the best choice in 2025? I suppose really to answer that, we want to look at the performance comparison.
Yes. Yeah.
Because obviously eGPU, you're using a desktop graphics card. XG Mobile, you're using a laptop GPU,
mobile version of the chip.
which is you were googling the performance difference. So what on average is
on average between any desktop card and a mobile chip. Yeah,
what's it? It's between 20 and 50.
20 and 50% drop in performance. So that's harsh, isn't it?
And also, you then got to acknowledge that you're not PCIe.
Yep.
So you're either USB 4 or Thunderbolt 5 at best.
Yeah, you're not times 16. Yeah.
So you've got the bottlenecking, which is going to obviously affect performance as well. Which is, I mean, you were experiencing around 15%, weren't you?
It's anywhere
roughly
between sort of 15 to 30%. Yeah.
So you've got to kind of compound that onto the difference as well.
And right now, if you're just looking at the Ally X, so it's going to default to USB 4, Thunderbolt 4, whatever.
Yeah.
You're going to have the same drop in performance between the Aoostar versus the XG Mobile. So you've got the degradation between it being a laptop variant GPU, the mobile chip, and the like Thunderbolt drop on top. So you could be losing like 60, 70% of performance versus a desktop variant of a 5070 Ti. Whereas the Aoostar or just any eGPU self-built with a USB 4, you're only getting the loss of that.
So you're paying more.
Yeah.
You're getting less performance and less future-proofing.
Yes.
Okay, I think we're going to answer what's the best choice for 2025 there.
There's still another option that we haven't considered when we're looking at performance.
Oh.
The 5070 is coming out in March.
Yes.
The 5070 will still outperform a mobile variant of the 5070 Ti.
Baseline 5070, I ignored it.
Yes. So
which is like 500, isn't
550. It? So if you look at that, it becomes even more valuable because you could buy an Aoostar AG02 plus a 5070 baseline.
700.
550 plus 200. So 750.
Yeah.
£750, and you're still going to get more performance than you would from the XG Mobile 5070 Ti at double the price.
Ouch. I hadn't even considered it.
Yeah. So that's the winning move right there.
Yeah. So for literally half the price of the XG Mobile.
And you'll still get more performance.
And future-proofing.
Future-proofing.
And value.
The only thing is if the Ally 2 or any other handheld comes out with a Thunderbolt 5, you will have to change to a Thunderbolt 5 to get even better performance out of your card.
Yeah. So which is best in 2025? Do you know, there's one part that we've not considered with this. I was just going to say, I don't want to make too much a definitive judgment until we actually get hands on the XG Mobile.
Yeah.
Because there's one part about it that's really valuable.
I know exactly where you go with this.
The software. Armoury Crate is a wonder that's not talked about enough.
Armoury Crate's the one reason why the Ally X reigns supreme out of any of these handhelds.
And it came out of nowhere. Like, that was an unexpected...
It should have sucked.
Yes.
It really should have
historically sucked. Awful.
But it's really good.
Really good. And they've integrated, and in the performance tab, haven't they? The XG Mobile.
Yeah, they tease it on the website. So if you scroll down on the XG Mobile listing on the ASUS page, and they show it with the RGB.
Yes.
But grayed out behind it is the other tab which says performance.
So it's going to be fully integrated into the Armoury Crate software, which I think adds a huge amount of value to the Ally X in of itself. So it's got to be kind of considered as how much value it adds into the XG Mobile as well. It just adds to that ease.
Absolutely.
And you're paying for like great performance and ease. Simple plug and play, a performance tab in Armoury Crate so you can tweak it. It's a significant thing.
Massive thing. Because one of our members, Temperius, he's just built his eGPU.
Oh, wow.
And I was troubleshooting through it with him for a good few hours the other week. And this is one thing that we came up across, right? So just to recap everything we've said in the past videos, right now, if you're building a GPU, go NVIDIA, because AMD drivers, believe it or not, clash with the AMD drivers of the APU.
Yeah.
So getting in NVIDIA is much easier. But as he experienced and I experienced, I've done a video covering all the troubleshooting you need to go through. It's not an easy process. You don't build the eGPU and it works.
No.
You have to go through hurdles once you've done all these hurdles, it then works. And that's why I say I love it now. But at the time, you remember the headaches I was having,
huge.
trying to figure out what was going on, what wasn't.
Yeah.
Right. So you'll load it up and you'll get an error 43 like issue. You then need to download like this script to run to get it to work and register the card. Because even if you've done everything right, the PC will see it and just go, nah.
I don't know what's going on here. What have you plugged into me?
Error 43.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, great. So you need to run a script there to then enable it. And there's some other stuff that you might run into issues-wise, covered it in the past. And anyway, so there's these hurdles. There's also the thing of certain games have an issue with the iGPU being enabled at the same time as a DGPU.
Yeah.
So you got your internal GPU as part of the APU, and then your DGPU is your discrete graphics card that you've installed, your eGPU. So with certain games that can introduce stuttering. So I manually, every time I boot my Ally into my eGPU, I turn off the iGPU, which is
go into device management and turn it.
Absolutely
physically
that.
Turn it off.
It's a manual process. Yeah. So I have to go to device manager, go to displays, open it up, go to my, it says 7:8 or whatever.
You could probably get someone to write a script that would do that.
There probably is, yes. But I just manually do it. Right click, disable. Then it's only able to use the NVIDIA card and there's no conflict of interest there.
Yeah.
A lot of people say, I don't bother with this, I'm fine. But certain games will have an issue. So I just, peace of mind, turn it off, and then everything's going to run.
Well, it also means if you come across another problem, you know it's definitely
not that. Yeah, exactly. So that's something I have to do. The other thing as well is, despite the fact USB is plug and play, it's not really. You can't like hot unswap it. You need to run.
What? That made me feel sick.
You need to run an eject script.
Yeah.
Which Thunderbolt is plug and play. You can just yank that out.
Really?
Yeah. But the USB 4, you need to run an eject script.
Yeah.
I don't because I'm lazy.
Yeah.
I just shut it down. Once you've shut the Ally down, I can unplug it. It's the same. But if you were trying to Nintendo Switch it, you need to run a script to do that, right? So there's all these little things that add up to being an inconvenience.
Massive.
Which, if you don't know what you're doing, or if you've not watched our videos where I suffered for you, and I tell you literally everything you need to do to make it a good experience, then paying extra for something that will be incorporated, which is where you're getting at with the software integration, they've not only made it for this device, it's an NVIDIA card. Yeah. It's going to be plug and play. You know, you're going to plug it in. They're not going to go and run error 43 scripts to run, to
open device manager.
Yeah. They're not going to be doing any of that. No. They're going to have it locked down. There'll be an Ally update. Yeah. Buy your XG Mobile, you plug it in, it'll pop up in an Armory crate, and it will probably behind the scenes do all these scripts that will tidy things up or whatever. And then maybe there's even an eject script there. Yeah. So there'll probably be a button, or maybe it'll do it automatically. I don't know. But there'll be a way that they've made it easy, because otherwise people are going to complain like big time. They need to make it foolproof. But not just that, there will be a performance tab where you can probably overclock it yourself. Maybe there's a manual overclock.
I think there definitely will be that.
Yeah. So maybe there's an automatic one. Who knows? Like there is a performance tab there. And I think they're going to do things that are very convenient. That
it might even just be tabbed, like a basic overclocking, like high performance mode or whatever.
Yeah. I definitely think there'll be an eject button. Yeah. So that you just touch on it or click it, and then it will be like, okay, now you can remove your Ally or whatever, and you won't be needing to disable your iGPU. I fully expect that they will, once you've connected it, it will just disable it in the background.
So you've got to ask. I think you've got to ask yourself honestly. How brave and willing are you to get into the weeds of getting it to work, and or how much is that convenience worth to you? Yeah. As to which you should choose. Mm-hmm. I think about another one of our talking about channel members with Temperius. So I think about Pork, who is he's really into the Ally X experience, but probably doesn't have the time to be digging into the weeds as much.
Absolutely, yeah.
So he's probably the kind of person that'd be more willing to pay that little bit extra
to have a more seamless
experience.
Yeah, and enjoyable experience.
And I'm shaving off X percentage of performance. I'm not that worried because I'm getting, which if you think about it is the historic console gamer, isn't it? Someone like me, really. I've come from that super convenient world of turn it on, It plays.
It works.
It's not as good as what I'm seeing on my mate's PC, but I'm getting an all right experience and it just works.
Yes.
I'm happy to have that percentage decrease and probably pay over the odds just for the convenience. It's a really big thing.
It's with everything there's compromise, isn't there? And it's always the route. If you build it yourself, it's the same with PCs.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, these days it's a little bit blur the lines, but in the days when I started building PCs, it was absolutely, you build it yourself, you can save a load of money.
Yeah.
You might have a few more headaches because you might have done something wrong.
Well, you do what I do and just melt stuff.
Yeah, AJ just sets a campfire inside it. But, back in the day, it was build it yourself. You can save serious money.
Oh, I remember building PCs for like 200 quid that were like £1,000, like big differences.
Yes, big differences.
It's not since the times of GPUs, it's gone.
Totally different. And now, like pre-built people have like cottoned on that actually we have bigger buying power.
Yeah.
And we can actually put it out around the same price. So for the past few years, it's actually probably been cheaper to buy a pre-built.
There's some that's definitely cheaper. Yeah.
But, that's what I'm alluding to, is there's always compromise.
Yes.
And yes, you will get the absolute best out of doing it yourself, but there's going to be more headaches, more troubleshooting, and you're going to have to change things up to get ready for Thunderbolt 5 when that drops in the latest ones.
Yeah. But I think, in truth, if you're the kind of person that's willing to have a dead Robocop or a semi-dead Robocop, have an exposed graphic cards out on your desk or in your lounge, if you're that kind of person, then chances are you're willing to be digging through Device Manager,
100%.
Turning off the internal GPU.
Yeah, and doing what I've done and build it into a case and everything, stick fans in it.
And probably get a lot of enjoyment out of that.
Yeah, I love tinkering.
It's the kind of stuff that I know that you love. Like, you're building it, it's tinkering.
Yeah.
And there's some people that just want to switch on and play games.
Yes.
And it's kind of exciting time because for a long time, PC gaming has been almost exclusively that kind of
elitist into that sort of. Yeah, you kind of need to know what you're doing.
And since the Steam Deck, it's more and more
trying to be easy. Yeah.
Well, catering to both.
Yeah.
And having options for both.
Yeah.
And if you want that lazy, simple experience with good performance, you're paying a little bit more. Sorry, we've done all the work for you.
Yeah, but that's the way you have to look at it.
Yeah.
They have done all the work for you, and you're getting something that's not half-assed.
Yeah.
You're getting Thunderbolt 5, which is future-proof.
Yeah.
You're getting...
And you're getting a 50 series.
You're getting 50 series up to a 5090, in a thing this big.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That you can stick in your back pocket and you could take with you, rather than having a mess of cables, hours of headaches. Do you know what I mean? Like,
well, you wouldn't be able to move in a like your graphics card setup, your external, you wouldn't want to be moving that around.
No.
You could physically do it.
Yeah, I put it in a case with a handle so that I could do it.
But you probably wouldn't want to bring it here.
No.
In the car.
No. But
the XG Mobile.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I
that would be going everywhere.
It's just my laptop bag.
If I was CEO, right? Yeah.
Yeah, CEO.
Or if I had producer Pete's credit card without him knowing.
We all need a bit of Pete's credit card.
Yeah. I would get an XG Mobile and have one of those.
Yeah,
I would.
Yeah.
Purely from convenience factor. If money was no object, yes. I mean, if money was no object, to get the 5090. But a 5070 Ti, I would legit be happy with.
Yeah.
It would still outperform my 4070.
Is it easy enough for all gamers? Is it easy enough for little Billy?
Yeah. Because it will just be plug and play. It's literally, he's going to plug it into his Ally with one cable, and then he's going to put an HDMI on the back of it or a display port. And then there you go. Now you've got, proper big time graphics on your screen.
How about the Steam Deck?
What? It won't work.
Because of Linux?
Yeah. And it's, I don't remember what USB it's got. It's only got like a USB 3 or something.
I think it is.
Yeah, no, it doesn't work on Steam Deck. That's why you don't see anyone doing eGPUs.
Yeah, it just popped into my head. It's like, how do you future-proof for those 3 million people that bought a Steam Deck?
Oh no, they're out of the picture. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. Come to PC land.
Because
Windows land is what I mean.
Yeah. The option would be really cool.
Yeah, it would be cool. Yeah, I think even if you put Windows on a Steam Deck, it wouldn't work because of the USB.
Yeah, the throughput's not enough.
If they release the Steam Deck 2 with like a Thunderbolt 5 port, then it will totally be possible.
Yeah.
Someone will make it possible. Even on Linux, they'll be able to. You can run eGPUs through Linux.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah. So it's just going to be the port capabilities on the Steam Deck that's holding it back right now.
Yeah, that would be amazing to see.
Yeah. I fully expect the Steam Deck 2 to have that capability, I reckon.
Yeah.
But maybe they don't as a cost-saving feature. Who knows?
Right. So you're balancing it out then, Andy.
Yes.
You've got ease.
Yeah.
Basically, that's it. The ease.
That's it. Worse performance.
And
you could have less money.
Less money. Better performance.
Yeah.
It's cheaper, but it's way more complicated.
And you've got more money in your pocket.
But you've got more money in your pocket.
Yeah.
So you can join our channel memberships.
Yes, that one, yeah.
Or support our sponsors that I always forget about.
Yes. 15 minutes in.
Sorry. What are you recommending?
Oh, it's so tough. For Pork, our channel member?
Okay.
Absolutely XG Mobile.
Yeah, that's a really good one. So for people to understand, me and you.
Yeah. Okay. For you, XG Mobile.
Brilliant.
Because otherwise it's going to set on fire. I've seen your track record. And that's the same with Pork. He set fire to his ally.
He did. Yeah.
So for you, absolutely XG Mobile. But to be fair, it's hard for me to say that when stuff like that AG02 exists.
Yeah,
because that's so easy.
That's so easy.
Like, you don't have to do what I did. I'm thinking about what I've done, where I've gone to town on it.
You're getting the controller and then the power supply.
And I've built it into this thing and I've janked it.
Yeah.
But the AG02 is so easy. Like, you just sit it down and slot a card in it.
I tell you what's the game changer for the AG02 is the 5070 baseline.
Yeah,
card.
yeah,
that changes it.
Yeah.
Because when that happens, which what you say by March we should see it.
550 RRP.
Then it's a really compelling offering.
Really compelling, yeah, and that will outperform the 5070 Ti XG Mobile because it's a desktop variant.
Yeah,
and you're only getting the drop in performance from the USB 4 then, and then once you get a Thunderbolt 5 device, you then gain more performance back.
Yeah,
so you'll see an increase in performance by not doing it.
And that 5070 is going to last, well, I mean, you're going to get 5 years
you're going to
fun
get
times out of that.
Yeah. You're going to get a good amount of time, especially with DLSS 4 and
how
if you're using frame
the 4070 been around?
Oh, I can't tell
3
you.
years?
2 or 3 years. Yeah, 3 years, I'd say.
You're using a 4070 in your external graphics card?
I could easily get by with that for a long time.
It's not holding you back right now, is it?
No, not at all.
So it kind of gives you an idea of how long your investment's going to be. I did see a negative comment about this the other day when I was talking about something. It was probably handhelds and saying, "Oh, you're going to get about 5 years out of this, and that'd be great performance." And someone was negative about it, saying it's typical for you types to be saying, "Oh, 5 years is like long term for gaming." It's like, well, a PlayStation's only 7.
Yeah, and that's like already rubbish performance after like the first year.
Yeah, it's not great when it comes out, but by the 7th year, you need to upgrade.
Yeah, look at the Switch.
Yeah, so we're talking about like the step above this.
Yeah,
we're talking about like higher end gaming performance.
Yeah, it would last much more than 5 years.
Yeah,
but 5 years of good
performance.
People are still using 1080s.
Yes,
you know, and they're like, when did they come out?
Well, Rebirth came out with recommended settings of 2060, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like, and that's a game coming out now.
Yeah.
I mean, it probably sucks on that, but
well, probably better than PlayStation.
Probably better than the PS5.
But yeah, so you will absolutely get far longer. It's just if you want to have a good experience, you know. But you'll be playing games at 40p, 60 FPS for probably well over 5 years, maybe. You know, so yeah, it really depends. But I definitely think the smart play here. It's difficult because of how easy the AG02 makes it.
Very.
If you do not care about traveling and you don't mind tinkering some settings because you watch us and I've done it all for you in a previous video, which I might like. I'm very tempted, by the way, because all my tips and tricks were inside another video.
I think you should do a summation of it.
I think I'm just going to chop it out and publish it again. It's a whole video inside.
Yeah.
Or video, basically. But anyway, it was just because we did a series and I kept it there. But there's very good information there, which I think is kind of lost to some people. But anyway, if you don't mind tinkering and you're not going to travel, absolutely buy the AG02 or some variant of an eGPU and a desktop variant, because you can always sell the card, you can always sell the controller.
Especially that 5070 is such a good price.
Yeah, the 5070, the baseline one, not the Ti, that would be really good there. If you can afford the 5070 or even a 5090, stick one of them on if you want. If you've got money, then wicked, you know, go for it. But budget conscious, get the AG02 and a 5070, you'll be golden. The XG Mobile is very niche, very niche.
Yeah.
The price is too high at the minute for me. If it came in at 1,000, tough choice, because
it's comparable then, isn't it?
It's comparable, and also you're getting the benefit of it being natively supported.
Yeah.
This is made by ASUS. You know,
Armory Crate.
Armory Crate's going to be integrated. Hopefully all these little niggles are going to be like automated and sorted out. So it's very tough. If you've got money, get the XG Mobile and don't worry about it.
Yeah.
You know, if you're a bit more conscious of it and you want that upgrade path, or maybe you want to build a PC with it in the future or whatever, go the build it yourself route.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
It's very sensible, Andy. It's probably the most sensible we've been.
Yeah.
I like it. It's good.
Yeah.
I want to know what you guys think, as always, down in the comments. So join in the conversation, the discussion. What would you recommend to people sat on the fence if you already have your eGPU or whatever? Or are you going to get an XG Mobile? Are you going to buy a 5090? Let us know
if you're the
how
CEO.
you got so rich.
Yeah, what company are you CEO of? Yeah.
And what else should they do, Andy?
Send us one.
Send us two.
Two, actually. Yeah,
Come
one
on,
each.
there's two
Come
of
on.
us. Yeah.
One each, yeah. They should become a member to fund that. And you can see these videos early sometimes, and you get to chat to us and all of our lovely members over on our private Discord.
Lovely job. So like before you leave, and then watch another video on the way out.
Yes.
Make sure that door doesn't hit you, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.